No, I don't need him to go checkity check. That doesn't help me.
Sure it does.
Checkity check.
Check. Check. Check. Check. Check. Check. Check. Check. Check. Check. Check. Check. Check.
So who's doing the opening?
Rich, you were right. We don't need that.
And welcome to another episode of Even More Mashed Up, the pop culture podcast brought to you by Misericordia University, featuring two professors talking about all things pop culture. I'm Patrick.
And I am Alan. Today we are going to rise to the occasion. We're going to walk the sky. We're going to have the Mandalorian sisters come perform. Barbara, Louise, and there was a third Mandrell sister, wasn't there?
You passed me after Barbara. So
there was Barbara, there was Louise. There was a third.
There was a third. You're right. No, there were three. There were three.
Could you Google the Mandrell sisters?
There
real
were
quickly
three
so
Mandrell sisters.
I don't want one of them to feel bad.
You are 100% correct.
Okay.
That there were three.
So the Barbara Mandalorian show.
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna do the Rise of Skywalker today.
Correction.
Yes.
Triple Oscar nominee, Rise of Skywalker.
Skywalker. Correction.
Skywalker.
Skywalker. Make your point.
Yes.
Yes. What did he get nominated for?
Can you guess?
Cinematography.
No.
Let's
Visual
see.
effects.
Yes.
Obviously, nobody that was a person of color got nominated. So
Yeah, that narrows down a lot of categories.
Boy, Rose has been overlooked in many ways.
Yes. So yes, visual effects.
Visual effects, music, score.
Is it still John Williams?
It's still John Williams, who broke his own record for most nominations with this.
Oh. Not how good. Good for him.
And then, so there's another one.
Yep.
It can't be screenplay.
Nope.
There's not a best actor in it, is there?
Nope.
What's left? Costuming.
Nope.
Makeup.
Nope.
Muppetry?
Nope.
I don't know.
I know that's an Oscar. It's just Muppetry.
Yeah. Actually, I think
The Oscar for Best Muppetry goes
To the Muppets.
Yeah, to the movie with Muppets.
again.
Yeah.
For the 20th year in a row.
Yeah, that's right.
Though you are on the right track in that it is something that, I think Star Wars gets nominated for just because it is so, it's basically perfected the aspect of the film, or is what all the films use.
Fight scene?
No.
Special effects.
I said
No,
that.
he said visual effects already.
Oh, well, visual effects and special effects are not the same thing.
Yeah.
They may not be, actually, now I think
Really?
about it.
I don't know. Who knows? I have no idea. I give up.
Yeah.
Sound editing. Because Skywalker sound is like the sound system that everyone uses.
That's right. Yeah.
So sound, I'm pretty sure it's sound editing.
So I felt really bad when we went to see it. So we went to see it, Rich. It was sorry we didn't invite you.
That's
Started
okay.
this. Whoops.
That's
so
okay.
it was
just adds it to one of the many tabs of pain in my heart.
Vicky went and Bobby and Hope went and
Yes.
Patrick came.
Woohoo!
And I was there.
And that was my
Everyone
second
but-
time seeing
So
it.
everyone but me.
Yes. So everybody but you
To be
went.
fair, it was my second time seeing it.
And I felt really bad for Vicky because we watched the movie, the lights come up, and she's just smiling, and she's like, that was a perfectly good movie. And then the rest of us just unloaded on the movie.
I will say my favorite
We
moment.
were in the movie theater for 15 minutes afterwards.
Talking about it.
Yeah.
My favorite moment. You've seen the movie, right, Rich?
Yes.
Okay.
It was the only movie I was bored at some points.
The only movie ever
Yeah.
in your lifetime.
I mean, I don't see too many. I'm very picky when it comes to it, and usually
Well,
it's
your budget's picky.
yes. But I mean, usually that's why it's usually a short thing.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
And you
how
found
can
yourself
you go wrong?
bored a little bit by it.
There's a lot of things I didn't care about that I know I was supposed to care about.
And that's the extended universe guy's talking.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
if
Well, but
he
this
got
is the
bored
movie that
by
got
this.
rid of the extended universe. So, he
No,
feels...
that was the first of these.
Well, but
I've
yeah,
already
this
I
trilogy is what got rid of them, and
so
thus
you
it's
think
a
he
bitter
just-
I don't
pill.
need to hear that again.
It's a bitter pill to swallow.
But Vicky just looked stunned, like that any of us
Yeah.
would care this much about a movie.
My favorite moment during the film was when Kylo and Rey kiss, and all I hear is Hope 2 seats down. That's crap. I'm like, okay, I know where Hope is,
and she's not wrong.
and
I checked out. So like
having
okay,
seen
sure,
the movie,
whatever, have a kiss.
having
Sure.
seen the movie the night before, I was like, I know exactly how. I knew Bobby was going to hate it. Like I'm like, Bobby is going to hate this film.
What do you think I would think of it?
I figured you would not be quite as visceral as Bobby, but that you would still.
So
Like I told you afterwards, like he's going to think this is the Age of Ultron.
yeah,
Of this current Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah.
Because I think
Age of Ultron's a compliment.
everything wrong with this film is similar. I think it's greater in this film.
Yeah.
But it's similar to your issues with Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can already tell Which is why I was very careful not to say anything when you guys were asking me, like, what did you think? I'm like,
the best part is I took a picture of the four of them outside the theater beforehand, just so I have a picture for my Instagram of the day. And I went back and looked at that picture the next day. And you're smiling, but you're definitely trying to cover something. Like there's definitely a wince underneath the smile that's like,
He knows what he's going to, like, I have to sit here and just watch some stuff.
I got to watch this thing again.
Well, there was part of me that was like, having seen it the night before, I was like, oh, it's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's enjoyable, but it's flawed.
I thought that
so,
description was the best. After the movie, you said you enjoyed it, but it wasn't a good movie.
Yeah,
and
like I enjoyed it.
I didn't even enjoy it.
I
enjoyed
enjoyed
it,
it,
Patrick, but my enjoyment was middling.
Like they had.
But so on the one hand, I was like, oh, part of me was hoping that I was going to like it better the second time.
Yeah.
That I was like, the flaws that I saw, maybe that won't be as bad the second time.
Maybe you had like a bad day,
and then I was like, and I don't want to like skew, any of the Austin's impressions of the film. So yeah, there were a lot of things that I was trying to juggle emotionally, going into the film. It was a struggle for me. But
so normally we do the good, the bad, and the other.
Yeah.
So I have a small list of good.
Okay.
Daisy Ridley.
Yes.
Is a very good actor.
She is. Again, I think
she
to the extent that the film is to the extent that the film is
plotting.
enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's because of Daisy Ridley and some of the other actors sort of elevating the material.
Yeah, and Ray is a fairly strong female character.
Yes.
Until maybe the end, like the Kylo thing.
Smoochies.
Yeah. I don't know. John Boyega's a really good actor.
He is. I'm not sure the movie did him any services.
Well,
did the movie do anyone but the two main characters services?
I don't think the movie did them services.
Yeah.
Although I'm not sure what services means.
I think it's one of the justice. I might be the phrase. That
the analogy breaks down.
I think I meant justice.
Well, you could do it service,
I'm getting
too.
my charisms mixed
But then
up.
I think Rich turned it into a plural.
It doesn't.
And doing services. And
craft
the more
services.
you use it, the less
clearly
it
did not
works.
have craft services on the film. Again, as we talked about when we looked at the trailer.
Yeah.
I said one of my concerns was the film, that Abrams is going to want to kind of tie everything up in a cute little bow.
Yeah.
Whereas I liked the way that Last Jedi kind of veered away from that. And this movie absolutely confirmed.
You 100% called it.
Everything that I was afraid was going to happen happened.
As we sat here and
they've even admitted it. Like, they've even said in interviews and stuff, they're like, yeah, we decided after Last Jedi we were going to make this. We were concerned about the fan response to Last Jedi, and so we wanted to make a film that would make the fans happy. And I'm like,
how about just make a good movie?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You did it 2 times. You couldn't just do it one more time?
Did they do it 2 times?
Especially compared to this one. They're pretty nice.
This last trilogy to me has been fine.
Yeah.
Certainly better than the prequel trilogy.
Yes.
But not surpassing the original. Do you think so?
No. I mean, it's not far from it, but it's not.
Only because the original doesn't hold up as well as it.
I mean, Force Awakens works real. I mean, Force Awakens, if I were to go back and watch it, probably has some of the same issues as Rise of Skywalker. Well, and we talked about this on the show,
right?
Kind of it being the nostalgia trip for fans,
right?
I remember that was sort of your complaint about, is that it's everything we've seen over again.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was like, yes, but I think that was Abrams sort of reassuring us that we were back in the Star Wars universe that we loved.
Yeah.
And the problem was that I think Rise of Skywalker kind of takes those same issues in the first movie and exacerbates them because they're trying to course correct so much.
Agreed.
From Last Jedi, which of the 3 movies, Last Jedi is my favorite.
It would be my favorite, too.
I really like Last Jedi. I really like what Rian Johnson tried to do in that film.
Rise of Skywalker.
To push the direction in a different way. And
Yeah. So, final good thing, Adam Driver's a good actor.
Yeah.
But to me, this film was maybe the worst of the trilogy.
Oh, yeah.
Like the first and the third to me are competing for.
Oh no, it's for me. It's definitely the weakest of the 3.
Yeah, so there were a ton of bad stuff.
Yes,
I brought a long list of bad stuff.
Yes.
Let me start, and then you can just
I'll just
spin
jump
off
in
since you brought no notes whatsoever.
They're all up here.
Okay.
My life is my notes.
So fair point. File this one under Stormtroopers are people too.
Okay.
One of the things I really liked about the first film in the trilogy was it made stormtroopers real people.
Yes.
Like they're not just, droids or nameless beings that are being shot and killed. Like they're real people who have been duped and or drafted and or forced into working for the Empire. Like as a Quaker, I'm like,
yeah.
this I can
well, again, the
appreciate,
idea that
like,
we
humanizing the violence.
The
of
idea
Star
that we
Wars.
learned from the new stormtrooper character, I forget her name,
Jannah.
The idea that they were sort of kidnapped and conscripted as kids.
Yeah, and they all defected, and they're really human.
Yes.
And then the stormtroopers show up, and they are killed left and right without any thought whatsoever.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
The worst of it for me is when they shoot the one, like, for some reason they have these sand, I don't know what you call them, sandmobiles? Like the snowmobiles that drive over the sand?
Oh, you're talking about
land speeder.
No.
No,
These
this
are
wasn't a land
the
speeder.
things that they're using to escape on the desert planet.
And then, like, the stormtroopers are riding in them, and, like, the
got the
seat
jetpacks.
boosts them up, and now they're
Oh,
flying.
yeah, the
Yeah,
rocket troopers.
The rocket troopers.
And so they shoot the one out of the sky. Mm-hmm. Clearly for comic effect, as he's like spiraling through the sky. Like everybody's like, oh wait, no, they just spent like an entire movie telling us these are real human beings, and now we've turned them once again.
And even within
into
this
punching
movie,
bags.
they're going to make that point.
Yeah.
With
Yes.
Jannah.
Yeah, they've done it repeatedly.
And again, and I think again, that's another way to look at the issues with the film is that there are ways they tried to carry on some of the stuff from Last Jedi.
Yeah.
But other stuff they do in the film completely contradicts what they did in Last Jedi.
Yeah, and it just, I mean, to
And
me,
it feels like the fact that there were 4 writers on this film was very clear to me because they clearly did not, like someone who wrote certain parts of the film did not know or remember what was going on elsewhere in the film.
So we want to humanize stormtroopers. They're still kind of punching bags. By the way, The Mandalorian does it better. When the two are sitting and I think it's the last episode when the two guys
the two speeders,
are sitting outside and they're trying to shoot the can.
And they suck at it.
And they can't hit the can from like 10 feet away. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's a funny moment about stormtroopers.
Yeah, well, that might have been, I think, the 3rd or 4th Stormtroopers can't shoot joke in The Mandalorian, which may have been one too many, but
to me, it was the best of them.
Yeah.
Because it was just the most in your face. But that I can live with stormtroopers. This I thought was like, the whole point is to humanize these people and in that way, start a conversation about war and violence and what it does to people.
not sure that's what Star Wars wanted to do. I don't think they want to start a conversation about war and violence.
Maybe not.
Ryan Johnson maybe wanted to.
Right.
I'm pretty sure Star Wars did not.
Okay, I see what you're. I think I see the distinction that you're drawing.
Yeah.
But to me, that was just this great moment of dissonance where
Yeah.
here's what we're doing with stormtroopers, and isn't it funny when we watch them get maimed and destroyed?
Yes.
Look, he flew into a mountain and exploded. That must have been so painful.
Oh, I bet he regrets his decision to join. Oh, wait a minute.
He didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's a person.
Yeah.
Ugh. So
Yeah.
the opening, second criticism for me.
Like the opening crawl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The the logo comes up, the music comes up. I'm like you, like it's kind of a rousing kind of moment. It takes you back to childhood.
I'm sorry.
A
A
space-
rousing or arousing?
No, a rousing.
Thank you. Just checking.
A
'Cause I want to make
space
clear
rousing.
that is not what it is for me. It is not.
Wait, which one is it not
It
for
is
you?
a rousing moment for me.
It is a rousing moment.
It is
for you.
a rousing moment.
Okay. So,
There's no Legos involved. It can't be that.
no, fair point. So that's great, but then the crawl begins.
The dead live.
Palpatine.
The dead live.
Palpatine has hijacked a radio station to broadcast his comeback to the rest of the universe.
Which apparently
Which
you
to
can
me-
hear his broadcast if you were playing Fortnite on the day before the movie came out.
Really?
Yeah. There are any number of things, because apparently
I don't understand.
one of the
that at
rides
all.
at Disneyland, of the new Star Wars Disneyland universe, actually fills in one of the other gaps from the film, and I'm like,
Oh, good. I have
That
to
does
go
not
to Disney
seem.
to
So if
figure
I
this
play
out.
Fortnite and I happen to go to the Disney thing, I'd understand some of the plot points.
Like,
I'm like, yeah.
you guys know Star Wars better than me. Like, when did Palpatine come back? How did
Yeah, that's-
Palpatine
He
come
doesn't.
back? Why is
That's
he
a-
choosing to broadcast
That's
on the
a
radio?
pretty big detail to just have in the crawl.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's got all this new technology, but he can't
Yeah.
put together like a
I mean, if it wasn't
like a
for the
half-assed video to show people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, come on.
And like, if it wasn't for the trailer, it would be completely out of left field. Like the fact that the trailer hints at it, at very least goes, okay, so this is what they're doing.
He's building these huge destroyers that now have cannons,
built
by the
them
way,
all. Yeah.
that do what a Death Star used to do, which is
Yes.
a ridiculous technological jump forward.
Technically, they would be Death Star destroyers.
See what he did there? Yeah.
I wish you hadn't, but I did see what you did now.
Just
So-
keep up with that.
The crawl was awful.
Yeah,
And
the
then
crawl was not good.
The film opens.
Well, and just the whole is like, oh, Palpatine's back.
Yeah.
Again, it's a huge plot point to just have, yeah, we're there. I'm like,
Right. Yeah.
And
Right.
I do not have that seated in any way in either of the prior films.
Because
You
we're
had
just
after
doing
credit
service
scene.
to fans at this point.
Yeah.
We realized that Ryan Johnson pissed people off.
Yep.
So they did like Palpatine, right? We'll bring him back.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's probably my biggest problem with Rise of Skywalker. And it's something that I would very much contrast it to with Watchmen when we get to it.
Yeah.
This is a film that was made with a complete lack of courage.
Yes.
That
100%.
This is a film that was made running scared.
Yep.
And didn't have, or feels like that, I guess I should say.
And one of the results
and
of that,
doesn't feel like the writers had confidence in what they were doing.
and one of the results of that isn't just the crawl, but then I'm not a filmmaker, but there were so many jump cuts. 30-second jump cut. 2-minute jump cut.
throughout the
45
film.
second.
Yeah, the film
It's
is
like boom, boom, boom. It's like
Well,
it
this is
obviously
one of-
had so much ground to make up.
Yes, that's the problem.
That
Again,
it
that's one of
just-
the things that makes the film like Age of Ultron in that it is overstuffed in terms of what it's of the things it's
100%.
trying to accomplish.
Again, jumping ahead, way ahead, but like when Luke brings his X-wing up for Ray to use, there's a moment that could have been a homage to when Yoda does it, but it just happens. Literally,
Right.
Ray looks left and there's an X-wing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Well, but
something
that
I'm supposed to feel from that point.
yes,
but
but that's the problem
Right,
is
so
that's
there's-
one because the one for me is when Han shows up. That moment had no resonance for me
because
whatsoever.
There was no
I'm
build
like,
to it.
because there was
it
nothing.
Just happens
yeah.
because there's so much stuff that has to happen. So X-wing, this,
It's
go.
like, oh, Lando's here. Okay.
Yeah. You don't have time to feel.
Guess
Yeah.
what? Leia's death, same effect for me.
Yeah.
Like so anticlimactic.
That I will forgive them a little bit because obviously they were limited in what they could do.
Yeah, but the way they wrote it, we'll come back in a minute because I
So.
think there's some plotting issues too.
Yeah.
Or maybe we're here now.
Oh, they're different. I mean, I think
To
we've covered plotting issues.
So she could lay down and connect to Kylo Ren and save him.
Yes.
Why does she wait?
Until now?
Yes.
And also, why don't we see her? I get that they can't, the footage doesn't exist, but they did it with other characters. They couldn't just do a little. It's a Ghost One version. They probably get away with it.
I mean, I guess
You
you could
couldn't-
say if she knew.
You couldn't save him before, I don't know, he kills your husband?
If she knew. I don't know.
And also,
I like that you, as the Star Wars fan,
Yeah.
are desperately trying.
I guess if she
Stitch it
knew that
together.
trying to do that was going to kill her,
Yeah.
then
Better to
maybe
let her husband die first.
then maybe. Well, maybe she thought Han can reach him,
because Han
and that way I don't have to sacrifice myself yet to reach him.
Because Han and his son had a very warm relationship. That seemed like something that was likely to pan out.
yeah.
Not saying it's the best explanation.
let's be honest,
I'm
Han's
just saying
dad
it's
of
a
the year.
possible one.
Let's say it's the best you could come up with.
Yes, it is the best I could come up
But
with.
doesn't make it
in
good.
a film that doesn't really give me a lot to work with.
Oh, I've got another category. This one I've titled Rose Goes Down with the Ship,
Oh Jesus, yeah.
in a couple of ways.
The marginalization of Rose is so annoying.
And it happened so quickly
Oh, yeah.
and so callously.
Oh, the moment she
and
showed up,
so
I'm like,
thoughtlessly.
oh, okay, that's that. Oh, Leia wants me to stay on the planet. I'm like, oh, fantastic.
Right. The whole crew is like, oh, we're going. Like, we're going to go be heroes. And Rose is like,
I got to stay and read some charts
I'm good with IT or whatever.
or architecture or
I
something.
don't know what it was, but it was just so clearly running scared. Mm-hmm. It was so clearly not wanting to offend fans.
Yep.
And it was just disgusting. So she goes down with the ship, the relationship gets tanked. But at the end, when she and Finn are on the Star Destroyer, they get
the
hit.
Star Destroyer.
Something like that.
They took out the IKEA.
As it's collapsing and falling to Earth or whatever planet it's falling on. Is it Ewok land or whatever?
No. It's what's the name of the evil planet? I forget.
Anyway,
They pulled it out of nowhere, so I have no actual memory.
so it
of
doesn't matter.
It's basically a planet that has one pyramid on it, and then it's just nothing else.
Yeah.
But there's a moment where the destroyer is turned sideways, and she and Finn look just like Jack and Rose from Titanic. It's like literally Titanic redone. Like everybody saw that, right?
Titanic? Or saw that in
The
film?
reference to
I did not see that, but
No.
Titanic. It was so obvious.
I was just counting the minutes down until it was done.
Except in this film, they obviously want Rose to be the one that gets sucked under the ice. And
yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, the treatment of Rose in this film
yeah,
was
offensive,
yes,
appalling,
yes,
ham-fisted.
yes,
Am I missing
yes,
anything? Okay, just
yes.
yeah.
Like, I almost thought there was, like, it wasn't a trilogy, there's going to be another film, because, like, wow, they're cutting out so much stuff. I guess they're going to just put it to, like, another independent film or, like, something.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's just gone.
Yeah, just
Okay, cool.
yeah,
yeah. No, it was yeah.
yeah.
Now there have been lots of stories since the movie came out about studio interference and that like the original cut of the film that Abrams made was 192 minutes long.
So we see more of Rose on the planet reading architectural
I don't
schemes.
know. There's apparently a scene with her and Leia, but beyond that, I don't know of much else with Rose.
They're talking about things happening away from them.
That's right.
Yeah, where do you think everyone else is? I don't
Having a
know. I'm stuck
blast,
here reading
probably.
charts. I guess I'll go try to save my son now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. So a point Bobby brought up, I don't know if you buy it or not, was that Jonna, the stormtrooper, is an African American character.
Oh yeah, I know at this point. Yeah,
Who's kind of segregated with.
in the fact that the African American character or black characters, since they're technically not
right,
American.
yes, yeah.
The black characters only talk to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure that was a coincidence.
And there's a creepiness to Lando
Apparently, she's potentially his daughter.
that makes it not better.
Because apparently in the the other thing that's really fun is that apparently there's a Star Wars Rise of Skywalker visual dictionary that was published that apparently fills in any number of important plot holes, such as that Lando had a kid, and one of the things that the First Order did when they rose to power in terms of conscripting stormtroopers is they specifically went after all of the kids of the leaders of the rebellion. So they kidnapped Lando's daughter.
Well, who else did they get?
I'm not. Well, they got Ben, obviously.
That worked out for
Did
them.
they kidnap Ben?
They
And why didn't they
tempted
turn him
him
into a stormtrooper?
Well, they had bigger plans for him.
Okay.
But apparently,
They
the
being
visual dictionary
Palpatine.
basically says that basically pretty heavily implies, if not outright says, that Jonna is Lando's
So
daughter.
you've bought the dictionary.
No, I've read these articles online.
Okay. You're going to buy the dictionary.
How old is Lando? He's got to be pretty old, right? Like
Oh,
he's
right.
got to be Leia's age, right? Like he's got to be.
Yeah, I mean they're all roughly the same age
Yeah.
in
So-
Jedi, so they're all
Right.
the same age
Yeah,
now
that was
too.
creepy. That whole.
Yeah,
I
let's
thought
go.
it was. I thought it was creepy, and
Let's go find out.
You guys both love Star Wars a lot. Mm-hmm. Are you guys in for a Lando and his daughter go on an adventure movie?
Not really.
No,
Okay, that's what I thought.
I think that may be something that shows up. In
I
one of
wasn't
the- in
that
a
thrilled
comic.
that he was there. Like I thought, oh, that's kind of neat, Lando. But like,
Well, I mean, we've burned through all of the other
Yeah, there's
original
nobody
characters. There's
left.
no one
Yeah.
left to bring back,
Right. Yeah.
except Wedge. They brought Wedge back.
did they? Was he that guy? Like they showed some guys like they like focused on like 1, 2 pilots.
Yeah, one of the pilots
And
is Wedge.
I kept waiting for them to say like, "Hey, Wedge, come over
Yeah,
here."
that would've been
and
good.
They never did. So I was
Yeah.
like, "Is that Wedge? Is that just some
Yeah,
guy?"
there's that
Was
moment.
it
and
the
then
guy that actually played Wedge?
yeah, it was the guy that played Wedge.
Yeah,
It was the
Like,
original actor.
They kept focusing on him, and
Which was a nice touch if you understood that that was the original actor that played Wedge.
Well, but-
Anyone else, it was like, well, that's an odd moment that we're focused.
But
kind of
also-
like when they're in the.
And doesn't he die too?
No, I don't think he does.
No, in the final battle, though, you'd be mistaken for that because it's the other chubby pilot that goes down.
Wedge
Yeah,
is not
like-
a chubby pilot.
Oh, the chubby pilot dies
Well,
in the
Wedge
first
is-
Star Wars film.
Yes,
Porkins.
Porkins.
Porkins, there you go.
really went out on a limb with that name.
What's the difference? Well,
I don't know. It just sort of
if
clicked.
by limb you mean fat shaming,
Yes,
that's
exactly.
where they went with that one.
Porkins.
But like, they're
Lucas was
so
not good with
trapped by the formula that it's like once again you're like, oh, that fat guy's not going to make
Well,
it.
also,
You know,
and
come
I
on.
think this is probably
Jeez.
going to annoy you more, is that
Yeah.
that actor has been in almost everything that J.J. Abrams does.
Yeah.
And I think he dies in almost everything that J.J. Abrams does. Because he's the
He's like
pilot.
the Sean Bean
he's
to
the
J.J.
pilot of the
Abrams.
plane. He's the pilot of the plane that crashes in Lost and gets eaten by the smoke monster in the pilot episode.
Yeah. So how about the MacGuffins in it, like the objects that are pulling people
Okay.
along?
It's not just the MacGuffins.
Yeah.
It's that there are essentially 3 MacGuffins. There's
Because
the Wayfinder,
Yep.
there's the dagger,
The dagger's so stupid.
and then there's Dio.
Yes.
Who's Dio?
He's the little robot.
Coney.
Oh, yeah. Tony.
So it's not just that there are the 3 MacGuffins.
Yeah.
It's the fact that Dio ends up having the information so everyone knows how to get to Vesicle, or whatever the evil planet is.
Did you just say testicle?
Vesicle or Vex, whatever it is.
But
however,
that whole situation with C-3PO.
the MacGuffin.
We'll get there in a minute. Yeah.
The MacGuffin of
Getting there.
Dio makes the other 2 MacGuffins completely superfluous because he has all the
hadn't even
information.
thought about
I realized that the other day. I'm like, Dio has all the information that the Wayfinder has, which is why they need the dagger to find the Wayfinder.
Also,
Well, thank God when they hold that thing up that the Death Star, when it collapsed, hasn't shifted at all in the ocean. You can still. There's been no decay. There's been no movement. Like,
when they
it's
hold it
right
up,
there.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
when they hold it up, I'm like, what are you looking for? Like, I didn't see any connection with what you were holding.
Well, the other thing, too, I love, can you imagine the Emperor's like, I'm back. I need to hire a carver.
back.
He has to go to this planet with this knife, and if he could just sit and carve this shape into the knife, that would be really cool.
And then if he could, while he's there, also just put some buttresses around the Death Star so it doesn't shift in any way.
In
that
the
might
water.
make it hard to use.
It's
the
in
Wayfinder.
water. It's not going to move.
Yeah, it's half
Well-
in massive waves of water.
Well, no, the water was very placid.
Yeah, it was very
It was
calm.
like a very
Oh.
calm. It was like a tiny pond. Really.
Yeah.
Like,
very
That's
still,
why it
very
was
serene.
suicidal to swim out there.
Suicidal, except the 2 people that have never used the ship before have no problem navigating.
At
Yes.
all. In fact, we don't even need to
By the
show
way,
you going through it that
Everybody who wants to get there gets
Gets there.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Oh, Kylo showed up.
Hey, it gets worse.
It does.
Chewie's fake death.
Oh, God.
It's just such ham-fisted filmmaking.
much. Well, and I love the reason it's like, oh no, it's because I'm evil. It's like, no, you made a mistake. Which
Well, it's
yes,
also a storyline that you didn't need in the film. Like, it adds nothing.
Right.
So why have it in the film that's already overstuffed?
And Rey is
Like-
willing to kill lots of people.
Like the whole Poe's secretly a spice smuggler in the past. I'm like, was anyone asking for Poe's secret past?
oh, there's going to be a prequel on Poe. And
I'm like, I don't
spice smuggling.
care. Like,
Yeah.
like you could
And-
wipe out that entire storyline. You wouldn't need that stupid
Poe's already
planet.
done. Like the first time we see Poe, he murders one of his allies to keep him talking.
You're thinking of Cassian in Rogue One.
Wow, they were similar. Like looking at least.
Yes, Latino men do all look the same. Let's just make clear that that is not a position of the
No.
even more mashed up in
No,
general.
the views expressed by
Rich.
Richard on the podcast
do not necessarily reflect. Yeah.
Oh, Rich.
Oh,
I think
yes.
you might need some more of that monster just to
Yeah,
get yourself
I think
moving
Rich's
this morning.
universe extends a bit too far.
I would say the opposite. It seems to have very clear boundaries.
I was convinced that they were just. I knew there was different films, but just mixing and matching the character traits completely.
That's how we'll phrase it.
Yeah.
Just about character traits.
Character traits, like
Yep. So the manufactured tension between Finn and Poe, like they have good chemistry. Just let them beat each other.
But also
themselves,
that's the other thing that I'm like, okay, clearly I don't know what that was leading to. The whole scene on the planet when Finn's like, "You're no Leia." I'm like, wow, that escalated fast. Like, and obviously the biggest thing in terms of stuff that just clearly was not followed through on in the plot was the whole, "Hey, Rey, I've got something to tell you,"
Yeah.
which disappears
Oh,
halfway
yeah.
through the film.
Well, and then to go back to Poe and he being no Leia,
Yeah.
how does he get to be a general? And how is he so bad at it?
Yeah,
think
and
by-
also
I think by
didn't we
default-
cover this in the last movie?
Yeah.
Like he had his whole he's a bad general
Yeah.
or bad leader.
He's in the climactic battle, and he gives the speech where he's like, "Well, it's over."
Oh yeah,
It's not a rallying speech.
no,
It's not, we are Sparta.
No.
It's like, well, I guess we're all going to die.
oh I guess nobody cares about the resistance. Oh wait a minute, there's the massive army.
And he knows the Millennium Falcon at a minimum's coming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sure the Falcon's enough to turn the tide against
Fair enough.
800.
But he shouldn't expect nobody to come.
Yeah, well, nobody came at the end of Last Jedi, so. Again, it's one of the things they tried to pick up on. And I will say the one moment that did have some resonance for me was when all the ships show up.
Agreed.
That was one of the moments like, yes, that worked because you seeded it from the last film
But
and
it
this
also,
film.
it also made the rest of the movie seem weaker to me.
Oh, yeah.
Because you feel, a film can make you feel something.
This film can be effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what was not effective was C-3PO, right? The whole mind wipe.
Oh, I I love the conversation.
But
With
we can bring him back real easily.
Well, again, it goes to that. It goes another way that it goes to the lack of courage.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna kill Chewie. Oh no, we're not.
Yeah.
Oh, 3PO's gonna be mind wiped. Oh no, he's back.
But I love the conversation. Was like, if you do this, it'll wipe my mind. So why don't we back him up first and then do it? Like,
Well, then the
he's
whole-
a computer
Right.
at the end of the
Well,
day.
but they do back.
Can't
But then
trust R2-D2's memory banks.
really, because I'm
You
pretty sure
use him
R2's
all
the
the
only
time
one.
to
Yeah,
send
Well, no,
and I'm pretty
messages.
sure R2's the only one that remembers everything from all of the films.
But
Because
it's like, even
3PO
on
gets mind
R2,
wipe at the end of the prequels.
like,
R2
just
doesn't.
Get a laptop or whatever they have,
Yeah.
plug him in right then and there, and say, okay, we download him,
Yeah.
But
and
when-
then we mind wipe him right then and there.
But whenever the rebels need to store information
Yes.
that's vital to their cause,
Or
they
do anything
use
by-
R2-D2.
yeah,
yeah.
not a robot like R2,
Yeah.
specifically
They use
just
that
R2.
particular unit.
Oh,
All
R2's
the
files.
time.
I mean, the moment C3PO said, "Oh, R2's files are notoriously unreliable," I'm like, "No, they're not. They're going to be fine. We're
Yeah.
going to get 3PO back."
So Bobby says that the Palpatine quotes the prequels a lot. I wouldn't.
Oh
know.
yeah.
Does he?
Oh yeah. Well, not the prequels.
How do you guys feel about Palpatine using old material?
Well, he quotes any number of. I think he
involving him
quotes
is
from
terrible.
many of his previous appearances. I don't know if they're prequels or not, but yeah, a lot of his dialogue is rehashed from
Yeah. Okay.
the previous films.
So under character work, a couple of other observations. Mm-hmm. Luke is back to his original trilogy self.
In the sense of,
It's like moody, hermity.
well, he's a ghost now, so I don't know that he's all that.
So, but he's gone back to the better Luke. Why wasn't he still the cranky Luke?
Oh well, he learned something.
And if he can he
It's a
be,
shame we didn't see that.
he
There's
can
a lot
be
of-
solid as a ghost, right?
Apparently, he catches a lightsaber.
Right. So Jedi never really die then. Like they're just choosing not to be there. When Obi-Wan got struck down, he could be back whenever he wanted to. He just chose not to be.
Well, they can be back. I don't think they can sustain.
Why do
Physicality.
you think that? Is it in the visual dictionary?
No,
Or is it just
because
stuff
clearly
you're
if they
making up?
could be physical all the time, they would be, and so since they're not, clearly they can't.
I think they're not, and therefore they're kind of a-holes.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, the
when you
Jedi
think about it,
historically
Yeah.
are kind of
Yeah.
a-holes. They're
like,
not.
if
They're
they
not.
can even remotely affect something, that means they have the choice to do so.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it's just all about willpower. Where again, if you have Yoda, who's a master Jedi, Yoda should be able to go down to Sith planet and kick Palpatine's ass.
Yeah.
You would think.
Well, that would have made the first movie very quick. They go, we have to get into the Death Star to turn off or to deactivate the gun.
Yeah.
Here, Luke, what you do, kill me with this lightsaber. I'll become an immaterial ghost, able to materialize at will. It'll work out really well.
On the other hand, how cool would it have been if all the ghosts of past Jedi showed up to fight Palpatine at the end?
Which apparently they were
Which
supposed
way?
to, and that got cut.
That would have been a better ending.
Right?
Yeah.
Instead of just being random voices saying like, "We believe in you."
Yeah, no, apparently one of the things I read said that originally there was supposed to be like Rey and all of like the voices of the Jedi, the physical forms were supposed to be there as well, and then that was one of the things that got changed, cut.
You know what should have gotten changed or cut in terms of character work?
The whole film.
Hux.
Oh God,
Who?
I am the spy.
that was a stupid.
Oh
It
yeah.
was so
Well, that I am the spy and Poe's like no, and I'm like, oh, well, it's not.
Yeah.
Like,
Then he's like, take out that camera. And you're like, you do realize there are cameras on the entire ship.
also, I'm
Like,
pretty sure they saw
awesome.
you say take out that
Yeah,
camera
like-
because you're standing in front of it.
taking out one camera hardly seems likely.
Well, and again, I love where it's like, they got away. Okay. Like, yeah, who didn't see that coming?
Yeah.
I guess they had to tell us who the spy was.
Yes. Also, I really like Hux's replacement. General Pride.
But was it?
That was his name.
Oh,
Pride.
Do they say that at some point?
Yes.
yeah. I still have more on my list of things I hated about the movie.
Yeah.
If you want me to keep moving.
Oh yeah, we can keep going.
Fight scenes, long, boring.
Were they long?
Don't work to advance the plot.
Like the one scene at the end when Kylo gets it's the
With the big
lightsaber-
waves.
Oh, easy. When the lightsaber.
Easy there, fella.
Sorry.
When the lightsaber is like teleported to him, like at the very end.
Oh, you
when,
mean
like, Rey-
the
I'm thinking about the one in the ocean.
Oh no! All before that were just so dull.
Yeah.
And it's like I thought about like, man, the last fight scene in what's the second one, The Last Jedi?
Yes.
Yeah. Where in the
No, it's Rogue One.
You.
I'm sorry. It's Solo.
But the last fight scene in the throne room, like that was really cool.
Yes.
You know, and I kept thinking, oh boy, I want to get more of that.
Hey,
And it
but
was
you know,
time.
but you know who
It was still
totally
too
lives
long.
up to their reputation in the film? The Knights of Ren.
Little what?
Yeah,
The Knights of Ren.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're
Who literally
tough group of hombres.
I think the only thing they do is pose on the desert planet.
Yeah.
I think they wander around the other planet ineffectually looking for everyone.
Yeah, and they're so.
And then they all get killed by Kylo. I'm like,
Yeah.
they just are, like, clearly it was like no one had a plan for them.
Well, they were his knights.
They were.
But I love like the
That
idea
never showed up prior to this
You
point.
go to
Yeah.
the throne room.
Maybe he never brought them out before because they stink.
Yeah.
Well, it's, yeah.
Good job.
But they were literally
Yeah,
like,
like-
you, and you. You're my team now. Because like you go again to the throne room with Snoke, and he's
Yeah.
got the guys in like the full red like armor.
Yeah,
like,
those were
laser
not the
weapons.
Knights of Ren, by the way.
No, but like laser weapons. It's like okay, they might be effective. And then you go to these guys who just have swords and like axes, and it's like, shouldn't anybody be able to take them out? Like it's
Pretty
only-
much.
It's
But
like,
yeah, I was like, they like after all of the buildup
the Knights of Red.
Yeah,
and
that
it's
we
like,
had, I'm like, nope, they. And well, another thing to point out is that they're also all former Jedi students of Luke's. So
I'm trying to
no
how-
lightsabers though.
How does that fit in so Kylo Ren still killed everybody
yes.
and then took the kids.
Yep. But we don't talk about them because nothing happens. I
Oh,
guess.
yeah. Well, no, it didn't. He didn't take the kids.
No, I thought it said some kids went with him.
Yeah, they went with him, but I think they're not younger than him. I think they're all of like the same. They're all
Okay.
roughly the same age.
Okay, but then where'd they go?
They joined him and became the Knights of Ren,
Without lightsabers or force powers?
apparently.
Okay.
Okay, good enough.
Or
I'm
you
glad
know,
it makes sense to somebody.
yeah.
Do you know what I hate in movies? Movies that look like they're made to be a video game. Like there's an eye to how will this translate to the video game that we're clearly going to market and sell.
Well, the game's
So,
already out.
It's like Uncharted to me. Like when they do the climbing and they're jumping like
Oh,
from,
yeah.
from thing to thing and they're climbing, you can see the video game mechanic already at work there. Like it's already there.
Can't
the
wait to
chase
play
on
the
the
Lego
sand
version of this
speeders.
game.
Oh yeah. How much fun is it going to be to take that little rocket dude and shoot him out and make him hit the rock
That's gonna be
over
fun.
and over
Multiple
and over
times.
Again.
Each time with the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah.
Did they have the Wilhelm screen for that? Because they
Squeam?
should have.
What's a squeam?
Screen?
I
Squeam?
remember
the
hearing
Wilhelm
it. I don't know if it's that one or if it's I think
It
somebody
totally would make sense there.
Yes.
The
I
squeam.
think so.
squeam.
If not, I know at some point somebody gets a lot, like, literally just tossed off a ledge. When you hear it.
Yeah. How did Palpatine have kids that I never knew about? Have I just not been paying attention?
That is something I will never forgive this film for, is
How did
make me
Palpatine-
contemplate Palpatine's sex life.
Like, how did Palpatine have
I'm
kids?
sitting there and I'm trying to do the math, and I'm like, so if Rey's in her 20s,
Yep.
and isn't it like,
and Palpatine's in his
Yeah,
200s.
50.
and I'm like, I'm like, I will never forgive this movie for
Like, he
making
was
me try to
old
calculate.
in the other trilogy.
Yeah,
and, like,
exactly.
that's a
It's-
while
it's-
ago.
What is it? Dana Schwartz, that Bobby follows on Twitter and that I follow. And she's a writer and working on the She-Hulk show.
Yeah.
She posted like picture of like old Palpatine and said, "By the way, now canonically, this man had an erection." I'm like, yeah, pretty much.
I mean, Rey is his granddaughter.
Yes, oh, that's
But
right.
still, there's enough distance between them.
Yeah,
That yeah.
it's not at all pleasant.
Even Palpatine in the original trilogy, you don't want to imagine things
wait,
No.
that he would do.
Who's Rey's mother?
Oh, I've got a way to do that if you really.
I don't know who her mother is.
Oh, I know who I want it to be.
Who?
To really infuriate like the extended universe people.
Yeah.
You make it Mara Jade.
That would infuriate me.
I knew it.
don't get it at all.
She
No.
was the Emperor's hand, who eventually left him and then becomes Luke's lover.
Yeah.
And they have kids, and she is, of all the things that were wiped out from the extended universe,
Yeah.
probably the number one or number two thing that everyone wants to come back.
So in the film, the
And
film
I'm like,
universe
bring her
does-
back as Palpatine's, hookup, and that is all.
Yeah,
that
does
is
Luke
all
never,
she is.
Luke never have kids then?
In the film?
In the films, not
Yeah.
that we're aware of.
Okay.
Again, that's why
I'm
it
pretty
was
sure
like,
the next
oh, Rey might
trilogy
be
will
a-
have old faded Luke
Yeah.
showing up. Oh, you're my daughter too.
Yeah, well, because again, that's why everyone was like, "Oh, it's Rise of Skywalker. It's Rey. Obviously, that means she's, the kid of Luke. somehow.
Yeah. I mean, I will say and again, that
And
was one of the things.
She just takes his name.
Well, and one of the things I really liked about Last Jedi was that they totally made Rey's parentage not like she's not anyone,
Right.
Which I liked.
I like
But
that a lot.
God
And that was-
forbid we hold on to that.
And I will say that having her be a Palpatine was not one of the ways I thought they would do that. And I was like, okay, of the various ways they could have made her tied into a family, that's probably the least objectionable to me.
But it's so stupid, too.
But I liked the idea that anyone could have been.
Yeah, I agree.
Not the whole, like, well, if you're a Solo or a Skywalker or a Palpatine.
It turns out Star Wars is very much a reflection of our times,
Yeah.
in which a small group of
Very
hybrid
nepotism.
elite pass down their wealth and power from
Yeah.
generation to generation to generation.
Yeah.
The Force is genetically nepotism. Just
Well, I think the other thing,
pure-
too, that feeds into that is, whereas in both of the previous movies, Rey had a storyline and Finn had a storyline.
Yeah.
In this film, Rey is the only one with a storyline.
Yeah.
That Finn no longer has a story.
Yeah, and Rey's is not particularly interesting.
Yeah.
So we talked about the kiss at the end. That's awkward, undercutting, and it's terrible.
And
Hope
yeah.
lost her.
Again, I would compare it to the moment in Rogue One where you think the Cassian and Jyn are going to kiss, and they don't. It was like,
Yeah.
yes, thank you. We don't need the romance tacked on.
Do not want that.
Which, again, I think in one of the earlier versions of the film, they did kind of play that up. That was something that was fixed, I think, in reshoots.
So Bobby complained that this film too much wants to be Return of the Jedi. We have to get Ewoks in there.
Oh,
We
yeah,
need a
it's very
ground
much.
team.
I mean,
I almost
I would
wish it
say
was
each
more.
of the films in this trilogy maps on to the original one.
And honestly, at some points, I kind of wish it just went for Return of the Jedi. Like at the end, like if they just did like a complete.
no,
like,
sir. No, sir. Don't say it.
Apparently, in the
Don't. If you go Ewok on me,
Oh no!
I am
No, no, no.
finished.
Apparently-
I am finished with
Ewoks
this
can.
podcast.
The whole planet of Ewoks can burn for all I care.
one of
Oh,
the
I'm
okay.
saying
Well,
the end
good.
with-
I'm with him now.
one of the things
I'm
that
saying the
apparently
throne
did
room
got
at the
cut
end
was
with-
more scenes with the Ewoks. There were apparently more scenes
Thank
with
God.
Ewoks.
No, but no, I was saying the end with Throne Room with like Luke and Darth Vader. Like if they, like at least that would have been, it would have been again a complete like just copy. But at least it would have been sort of made sense where they have like Rey like and Kylo Ren still there as like strike him down and
And Rey
give into
loses a
anger.
hand.
No, when? Or at least, or he
No,
dies.
that would be Empire. You wouldn't do that
Oh.
in Jedi.
Oh, was that Empire?
Yeah. No, he's talking to me.
Oh, okay.
But don't Finn and Rose do the same sequence in this film as they do on the last one? Is like Finn goes off to sacrifice himself.
Yes.
And by the way, if you were really on a destroyer that was going down, could a ship just fly by and you could jump onto it?
yeah, physics of that seem a little. Also, when the ship is perpendicular to the ground,
Yeah.
I'm not sure how you have much traction.
Yeah, agreed.
Seems
It
like there's
depends because the ships themselves have internal gravity wells. So hypothetically, even if it went sideways, it would still be the gravity of feet against the ground.
You shake your head, Patrick, but this is like any comic book, Lego,
Yeah.
or Star Wars conversation
No,
with you
I'm
for anybody else.
I'm shaking my head because that was going to be one of my explanations.
Oh, okay, good. Great. So at least you know yourself.
I'm pretty sure the ships generate their own gravity,
So,
They have to because otherwise you couldn't like.
because
anytime-
otherwise things couldn't walk on them in this movie like we need them to.
Yeah, well, but in any movie, like there's so many times where like the Star Destroyers are shown like tilting to the left and right, and then you should be like Star Trek, where everyone goes and like falls to a side.
No, but that's inside the ship.
But I
So-
mean, the idea is that it's
We got to get to Mandalorian for a couple
Oh.
minutes at least here.
Yeah,
So
how long have
I'm
we-
trying to like move us along.
How long have we been going on just Rise of Skywalker?
We're about 40
45.
minutes. 45. Holy.
Okay.
Oh, no,
Well,
I'm
that
counting-
counts the intro.
I'm
So about
yeah,
40.
so 40.
Maybe we should just do a separate episode on Mandalorian.
The Coney droid was
Dio.
terrible, awful. He's like BB-8.
But you hate all the
worse. Yeah. And then at the end,
So let's say one of
I
the
just
droids
wanna-
smaller than
I want to be
BB-8.
clear. Rey says that her name is Rey Skywalker.
Yes.
As the ghosts of Luke and Leia look on, smiling in the background.
Yes.
So this means that when Luke kissed his sister in the first film, that they were on their way to making an incestuous baby that would save the universe down the road.
It's a spiritually incestuous baby, yes.
Yeah.
In that spiritually she feels like she is the daughter of Luke and Leia.
Which, by the way, why she interacted with Luke for all of what?
A
2
movie?
weeks?
yeah.
And then with Leia, like I get it showed she's training with her.
It's hard. It is one of the things in terms of the
You
time
have
frame
to
of
assume the
the
relationship.
time frame of Last Jedi. I'm not sure makes complete sense because she is supposed to be on the island training with Luke
Yeah.
for some period of
Indeterminate
time.
And yet, though,
And
there's
yet
still
the
stuff
whole
happening.
time they're at the same time that the rebels are being chased by the
are they
First
being
Order.
chased for years?
That's what I'm like. Is it like 2 weeks of this? Because
Like,
this seems.
in that case, Han could be her dad for as much time as
So,
she
yeah.
spent with him.
Yeah. So in the end, Patrick, I think you were dead right. It was an enjoyable movie.
Enjoyable?
It didn't make me squeam, if that's what you're asking.
I think it might have.
It was enjoyable, but it wasn't very good.
Yeah, I do like.
I don't know if I'd ever watch it again. Like
The one thing
I
do-
have no desire to see it again.
I do
You
like.
watched it twice.
I've watched it twice. I saw all the other movies 5 times.
And I showed those on TV, and I was like, man, these are fun. Like, I
Yeah.
was watching the other
I
two.
do
like,
enjoy. The one thing I do like is at the end when she's on Tatooine, and the old woman shows up.
Yeah.
It's like, who are you? I like to think that woman is the realtor trying to sell that property. She's like someone's final. Nobody's come for a while.
And the realtor is Mara Jane.
Jade.
Whatever.
No,
Like,
there
I
was
paying
there were
attention.
theories that she is.
No, she's clearly Al Palpatine's baby mama, and that is it.
No,
She is nothing more important than that. If I really wanted to tick off.
Oh no,
the,
it was she was another cousin or like some like friend from like Uncle Ben or whatever.
And who cares?
Yeah.
No, I just like that she's the realtor that's like, oh my god, I got a sale.
Hey, you know what seemed to get better popular reception than this movie?
The other Star Wars
Anything?
movies.
The Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, we were going to talk about that,
which
weren't
people
we?
seem to like.
Yes,
I thought it was fine. I don't quite get the love people have for it.
it was. Yeah, it was. It was good. I'm not sure it was
Okay.
I mean, I think it's just more
great.
Star Wars.
I enjoy.
I thought
again,
that you were leaning more towards great when we talked about it.
No,
and
no, I
don't
really
see that.
really enjoyed it. But it does have some. It has some issues in the fact that the 2 main characters of the show, you never are either a non-speaking character in the Baby Yoda,
Yeah.
or the dude that never takes his helmet off, and so there is a way in which that they are very distant from us and very
Yeah.
sort of closed off.
And Carl Weathers playing the guy that hires him is just. It was hard for me to get past Carl Weathers.
yeah, he is very Carl Weathers.
Especially because of the part he did on Arrested Development where he played himself.
Yeah, it's hard to see
It's
Carl
just-
Weathers not playing Carl Weathers.
It's hard to escape the gravity of Carl Weathers
Yeah.
when he's on the screen. I keep expecting Rocky's going to stand next to
Yeah.
him, and it just like.
Yeah, or the Mandalorian's going to say to him, "I must break you."
Right. Yeah. Like one of these things.
Yeah, I mean, there was a tweet that Bobby retweeted about the show where someone pointed out that the reason, or something about the critiques of Mandalorian, that it harkens back to an earlier sort of era of television, in which we're very used now to shows having sort of being kind of the mystery box and all kinds
Right.
of things
Yeah.
to unlock and unpack
And we complain about
discuss.
that on a CW show where there also has to be a big bad and
Yes,
the whole show
and
is
that
kind
Mandalorian is not that. There's
what
not so much to unpack.
what it is, I think, is it's more like a Star Trek than it is a Star Wars in its structuring and plotting. It's like Captain Kirk going from planet to planet.
Well,
to
it's- well,
planet,
it's that
from
very much-
episode to episode to episode.
Well, it's very much a era of television in which you didn't have long overarching plots.
Yeah.
You had every episode was kind of on its own and kind of doing its own thing.
That's what I mean by Star Trek.
Yeah.
It felt more Star Trek than Star Wars.
Yeah.
To
It was
me.
more episodic in the sense
Yes.
that you didn't have
Yeah.
like an 8-episode long movie. You had
Right.
8 episodes.
Yeah.
And yet, one of the things that drove me a little nuts about the plotting was, like, after a while, I got used to it. Okay, like, we're doing a story per episode.
Right.
But then at the end, when he has to put together a strike team, there's kind of this retroactive puzzle.
Well,
solving,
yeah.
Like, I've got to go get the guy that has spoken, and I've got to go get the stranded female,
Cara Dune.
Cara Dune.
Cara
Is
Dune.
that like a Lorna Dune?
No, it's Cara.
Because
Dune.
Lorna is a cookie, right? You guys know what a Lorna Dune is? Look up Lorna Dune. Did you
No.
look up the Mandrell sisters?
No,
Yeah,
I'm
look
not
up-
looking up a little Dune either.
Lorna.
You have a
Lorna
phone,
Dune.
use it.
But
Yeah,
I'm
no,
actually doing a show here.
I will agree that I
The
think
Mandrell sisters.
Barbara Mandrell and the Mandrell Sisters is a TV program that first aired in 1980.
Hold up to the mic.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Barbara, Irene, and Louise.
Okay, so Irene was the one we forgot
Yes, Barbara, Irene,
because you said Louise, didn't you?
Louise. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Is
it's a
Lorna
show
Dune
that I
a
think.
cookie?
in veering towards the more episodic
Yeah.
structure.
Dune. It's a cookie.
Hold it up to the
okay.
mic.
So when
Hold it up to the mic.
When you
I
said
realize you're
Jada
showing
Dune-
me your phone on a podcast.
Yeah, I'm just showing it to you. And so the Lorna Doone joke was actually a good one.
No, it
You
wasn't.
guys just didn't get it. Old people eat lots of Lorna Doones. They got that joke.
Certain Nord people do.
Certain what kind of people?
Old
Ord people.
I said old.
What is an Ord purple?
I don't know. I'm tired. I'm rusty at the podcast.
This has not been our smoothest
Yeah.
linguistic.
Our smooth as what?
Linguistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not been. No, I think there is an issue in that they kind of veered a bit too far towards the episodic nature.
But then pulled it back together.
But
which
then
I
when they
do
tried to pull it back
appreciate,
together,
yeah.
it was like, oh, you might have needed. Because I think the idea was that he was supposed to be going to all of these different places.
Yeah.
Different places, not different.
I know.
We're
it's-
going to let that
we
one
all know-
slide.
Yeah.
Yeah, linguistically.
Disafferent.
Because he's trying to avoid pursuit, and I don't
Right.
know that they hit that point quite as strongly as they needed to for it to tie back at the end.
Yeah. Right. But
Overall, but I thought Mandalorian. I enjoyed it. I thought it was solid.
that's what I would say.
I'm hoping for better in the second season, but I perfectly enjoyed it.
Bobby really liked the cinematography.
Oh, it's beautifully shot.
And it hits the nostalgia points right, like
Yeah.
the way it cuts from scene to scene. Like, to me, I understand all of those draws, but a couple of things: the unmasking of the Mandalorian,
Well, you knew that was going to happen inevitably.
but was completely anticlimactic. Number one, everybody leaves because they have to flee, and the Mandalorian's dying.
Right.
Right. So they're fleeing. The Mandalorian then has a long conversation with the robot.
I do enjoy that the robot is voiced by Taika Waititi.
Right. But we all realize, right, that the robot's not a person, and thus the Mandalorian is going to take off his helmet at this
Right.
point.
Oh, yeah.
Like when the robot says, I'm not a person, the Mandalorian is like, oh, I never thought about that. But everybody saw that coming.
Yeah. Oh no,
He
it's
unmasks.
it's a movie that I think it's a show that plays very fair with its audience. In that you can, it doesn't do anything that the audience would feel is sort of outside the realm of possibility. But some of the things might be too inside the realm of possibility.
And too ridiculous. So then he gives him, the robot gives him a shot of like Bactine or whatever.
Bacta. It's the fluid that in Empire Luke is floating in after the Wampa attack.
So I would assume that Bactine,
Bacta.
but Bactine, what we use
Bacta.
now, you know what Bactine is, right?
It's not Bacta.
But you know what Bactine is?
Isn't it just
you know what it is?
like an
You get a cut, you
anti-infection?
spray Bactine
Oh, it's like
on it, it
Neosporin.
stings really bad,
Yes,
and your
it's like
mom tells you
Neosporin.
like it feels
With a-
bad, like it's
yeah.
going to heal. So clearly
I feel there's some
Bactine
childhood trauma we need to delve into there.
evolved into Bacta.
I don't know, but it's just
So
Bacta.
Luke was drifting in a big pool of Bactine.
Bacta.
Bactine.
Bacta.
Bactine.
Bacta.
This podcast.
I'm not sure it's evolved into that. Because actually no,
Wasn't
no.
the
it's-
unmasking
No,
completely-
because
You want to go more on the Bactine.
Star Wars is set in a galaxy a long time ago and a far, far away. So actually, Bacta would have evolved into Bactine.
Yeah, it would have been the reverse.
Boom.
So
School.
You're assuming there's no time travel, which is
There is no time
ridiculous
travel
to
in
me.
Star Wars.
Somehow,
and Star Lords.
Star Wars.
Star Lords.
I said Star Wars.
Star what?
Star Wars.
So anyway, here's my biggest complaint, and it's when I just lost it. Oh no, let me finish this story first. So after he gives him the Bactine,
Bacta.
and we see his face, which is totally anticlimactic because he's just an average-looking dude.
I'm not sure most people would describe Pedro Pascal as an average-looking dude. But,
Really?
I mean, Rich would confuse him with several other people.
By Austin standards, he's a very average-looking dude.
I'm just going to let that go.
Anyway, then the Bactine works.
well,
Bacta.
Bacta is basically cure-all. It will fix anything if you have enough of it.
Right. So they save him, and they step into the tunnels, and everybody's still there. There's been at least a 10-minute conversation while the others were fleeing, but they're right there.
Well, they're on a slow boat.
The worst of the plotting was at the beginning. What's the guy's name that always says, I have spoken?
Oh, I don't remember.
That dude.
Yeah.
So he says, to get what you need, we have to travel across this very inhospitable terrain. And the only way to do it is to get on these like sperm-shaped, slug-like beasts.
That look like they can move like about a foot a minute.
Right. Which gives us a 10-minute montage of the Mandalorian taming the sluggish beast.
Yes.
They ride them across. They do the rescue. And then the Mandalorian walks back.
Oh, that's true. He does. No. I think
He's got Yoda in his little
No,
basket.
I think he
and he walks back, sir.
But isn't there a
Sir.
shot of the thing they were riding in the background as he's walking?
He walks back.
Okay.
You got to ride this to get there, but not back.
But not back. Well,
No.
that's consistent. He
It's
said
like
you have to
uphill.
ride this to get there. Back is fine.
It's like uphill, you know, you got to ride to go
I'm
uphill.
surprised you don't have more objections to Baby Yoda.
I have spoken. Baby Yoda is everything I hate in a Star Wars
I know
film.
you do, except
everything
he
I
is-
hate
I'm not sure I could
wrapped
imagine
up together.
a better expression of what you hate about Star Wars than Baby Yoda.
And the funny thing
he's
was-
so cute.
The only reason Vicky kept watching it
Oh, Baby Yoda.
was because he was so cute.
I love it when he flips the switches.
I hate it when he flips
Oh my
the
God,
switches.
best
And he
thing.
takes a little knob
Have you
off.
seen the various videos of people done mashing that up with various songs?
Imagine this.
My favorite is the Toto's Africa.
I do everything I can to avoid Baby Yoda in all media forms.
I love Baby Yoda so much.
Hate.
Though actually,
hate Baby
I
Yoda.
prefer to call him Yodel.
Oh my! Oh, now you're gonna show off with your little because he sings or yodels like Heidi. I don't
No,
remember
because
what
the
you call
only
him.
other two members of the species we know of are Yoda and Yaddle. So you put their names together and you get Yodel. I'm kind of proud of that.
I know it's your pride that really leaves me speechless.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna.
The joke
plant your
itself
flag
was
on.
bad enough.
It's
Of
Yodel.
all the stuff that you've done this episode,
It's Yodel.
that's where you're gonna.
I'm pretty
plant
sure
your
if I
flag.
tweet that enough, Jon Favreau will eventually reveal that he's named
Not if
Yodel.
he hears what we said about his show on the podcast.
So I love Baby Yoda so
I just
much.
for Jon Favreau, I thought there'd be a little more.
Yeah.
It was fine. You know what wasn't fine? This podcast. This podcast was excellent.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I was going to say, you're not going to trash this podcast.
No,
This
it was excellent.
This was solid work on our
Oh,
part.
there's 100% gold.
Yeah,
110% gold.
yeah.
With a little Bactine sprayed on
Little,
top.
yeah,
to
I
give
got
it
a little
sheen.
back-to-back teen.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what more you'd want in a podcast except for really sticking the landing.
Yeah, which is what we are known for.
Ooh, I think that's we are
land stickers.
if Bella Caroli were here right now,
Who?
the gymnast coach from back in the day.
Jesus.
Bella Caroli were here, he would say, "We've hit the springboard. We've gone off the pommel horse. We're mid-flip. We're about to stick it. That we're landing right now as you glare at me." I don't know why you hate Bella Caroli so much.
Because you clearly have had this in your back pocket the entire podcast.
literally just came up
I
with
don't
it.
think that's true.
Literally just came up with it.
You just came up with Bella Caroli.
I did.
Really?
I absolutely did.
I have
When
a
said
feeling it
stick
came up on your search
I
for
thought
Mandrell
Bella
Sisters, and you're like,
Caroli.
I can make a Bella Caroli
Nope,
reference.
No, it came just out of the blue. That's how my brain works anymore.
Well,
As we're landing.
Sticking
Wait,
it.
Well, we're in the process of sticking
Yes.
it, and it
And
is
it's stuck.
stuck.
Boom.
Bang.
Bang.
Finished.
Done.